Standing here with AIC head football coach Art Wilkins. Art, we're about to kick off the 2011 season with a road game at CW Post. Run us through how preseason camp's been going so far, and quickly, how ready do you think we are for that season opener?
We're a very talented football team, maybe one of the most talented football teams we've had, but it's a very immature team at this stage. I expect inconsistency and development through the season, but we could, barring major injuries, be a very good football team by the end of the year. We have a very challenging early schedule. We only play home once in our first 5 games, so it's an uphill struggle. But we'll see what the boys can come up with and how they develop early. We're going to have to win a few games from coming behind, but we'll be in every game.
Okay, now, what are some of the expectations do you have for this group? Like you said, we are, kind of a young team, sort of inexperienced team. Do you see us being capable of winning the NE10 title this year, or do you think we're maybe a year off?
We're capable of challenging for the NE10 title. The first 2 games are non-league games, so the third game is a very important one. It's the only home game that we've got in the first half of the season. That's Assumption. So that's a critical game for us. We have Assumption, Stonehill, and Bentley during that string of 5, that opening string of 5. And we'll know a lot about our football team at that point. If we have a reasonable record coming out of there, then yes, we will challenge for the championship.
Now, if we are going to challenge for the championship, who are some of the guys that we should look for to kind of, lead us to that, to that point that are going to get us there?
We return 9 of 11 players on offense. Terrell Williams at running back is an outstanding player. We return Paul Skarka and Jimmy Hensley on the offensive line. 2 sophomores, Leondi Marisma, Zach Jones. I feel that's a strength. Steve Lampkins had a great spring and a great preseason. Calvin Brownridge is very, very talented. He was outstanding at the end of the year. Andre Samuels has been a big-time catch maker for us. So we have a lot of guns on offense, I think. On defense, Justin Turvo was Rookie of the Year in the conference. We have some outstanding safeties. Max Brown, Wasu Anabanjo, and Markel Rice are 3 outstanding safeties. They'll probably play some at corner. We're young at linebacker, but we have numbers and talent there. I expect some of the young talent to be dominant by the end of the year and competitive in the beginning of the year.
Now, one place that everyone always seems to focus on is quarterback, and it's going to be pretty hard to not notice that we don't have Rob Parent for the first time in 4 years. What are you kind of expecting out of Kevin Arduino as he kind of takes the reins?
Well, Kevin Arduino is an outstanding quarterback. We also have a transfer coming in, Chris Sharippa, who's played very well, and Dan Puglisi. So we have inexperience at quarterback, but I think it's the most talented quarterbacking core that we've had. Kevin was New York State Player of the Year when he was in high school, had a prep school year. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, can throw the ball 75 yards, and he can run it. So I think we'll be able to do some things at quarterback. We have to be careful not to depend on the quarterback early in the year and bring him along slowly. Fairly veteran offense around him, so they'll have to take the load, and we'll see if Kevin can develop as the year develops.
Standing here talking to AIC senior defensive back Max Brown. Max, we're about to start the 2011 season with a non-conference game at CW Post on Saturday. Can you just kind of run through how things have been going in camp for us so far, and how ready do you think we are for CW Post?
Well, I think the whole entire team is ready for Post this week. I'm on defense, so I think our defense is ready. We're ready to be fast on D. We got a lot of young guys on defense this year, but we got a couple of veterans such as me, Wasu Adabanjo, Darius Evans, Markel Rice. we're ready to lead the defense to stop every offense in any team this year.
Okay, now, what are some of the team goals, I guess, for this season? It's, somewhat of a new group, especially on the defensive end. We lost some, pretty key guys last year. Do you see us being able to make a run at the NE10 title? And, if so, what do we really have to focus on to pull that off?
Yes, I see we be contenders for the championship because we have our main goals on defense is turnovers, no mentals, and just do your job, play your position. Don't worry about no one else's faults. Just play your position. And the biggest thing is to win the turnover margin. That's for us on defense.
Now, just to quickly, talk about yourself for a second. Any kind of personal goals you kind of, set for yourself? Anything you're kind of striving for individually?
Yeah, my personal goal, since I missed the entire last season, my goal is just to come back strong and have a better season than I had my sophomore year. I'm just trying to pass everything I did my sophomore year.
Standing here talking with AIC freshman quarterback Kevin Arduino. Kevin, we're about to head into our first game of the season at CW Post on Saturday. Can you just kind of talk about how things have gone in the preseason so far, trying to get ready for this game?
It's been a fun preseason, I gotta say. We're coming along fast. On offense, we have a lot of veterans. The only actual person replacing is Rob, which is going to be difficult. Big shoes to fill there. But we've come along really well. We got some good stuff in, and I think we're ready for the first game Saturday.
Okay, now you just mentioned it. You're going to be filling in at starting quarterback this year. We redshirted you last year with the idea that you'd be the one coming in to, take the reins after Rob was done. Just kind of talk about what you've been doing, your preparations to get ready for this game against CW Post and to lead this team.
Really, there's no replacing Rob. He's been great here. He set all sorts of records and everything. But for me, I just came out, worked as hard as I could. Last year, having off last year, and under his footsteps, learning everything that he knew, and him helping me throughout all last year, and then this year having the whole preseason and everything. I think we're on the right track. I think we're going to have a good season.
Okay, now obviously you redshirted last year, so you've been around the program for a little bit of time now. Do you see us being a team that can still contend in the Northeast 10? They picked us fifth. Doesn't seem like the coaches seem to think so. What do you think we can do this year?
There's no question. No question that we can win the NE10. It's not even a question. Our goals are playoffs. So in order to get the playoffs, you got to do pretty well in the NE10, and that's where our head's at, and that's what we're going to be going after this year.